Hey everyone, so the plan of this video is to help you guys build your Unreal Engine 5 project to the Oculus Quest 2 or 1, depending on what you've got. Just before we get started, it's important to note that Unreal Engine 5 at the time of recording this video is only just released, and it's quite unstable when it comes to VR, so keep that in mind. At the moment, Nanite and Lumen are not supported, so I just want to clear that up. So if you're working with 4.27 and you have a reason to stay there, then I recommend doing that. But if not, we're going to jump right in. So before we jump over to the PC, there's three things we're going to need. The first one is we're going to need our Oculus Quest 2 or 1. We're going to need our mobile, which has the Oculus app open and ready to use. And the third is going to be a cable that we can connect our Oculus from our PC to the Oculus, type USB-C, so we can actually send an APK over to it. It's much easier than doing it wireless. So let's jump right in. So what we're going to do now is make sure our Quest 2 is actually turned on. Mine is. And we want to make sure it's connected to our mobile device. So what we're going to do here is we're going to enable development mode. And that'll allow your headset to connect to the PC and then go from there. So we're going to go onto our phone. We're going to hop over to that. We're going to open up our Oculus Quest app. And then in the bottom right, we want to go to Menu. And then we're going to look for Devices. So we select Devices. We should actually connect to our headset. So our Quest 2 is connected. And then we've got these options here, and we can see that we have developer mode right here. And we just want to turn developer mode on. Once you've done this, you want to restart your headset. And then once you boot it up, you should actually be able to connect it to your PC, and it should allow you to enable USB debug mode. So go ahead, do that, and then we'll get on to the next part. What we're going to do now is actually search for the Oculus desktop application. So Oculus desktop app, Oculus setup, and we're going to select this. So what we want to do is scroll down to Airlink and link cable, download Quest 2 PC app, hit save, and then we're going to run through this setup. The reason we're installing this is it allows our headset to connect to Unreal so we can test it in the viewport as well as build to the application or build to the headset. So now that we have Oculus installed on our desktop, we can go to devices and then we should be able to see our headset. If you don't, you want to go through and add your headset and set it up. And you might have to connect it with the cable to your PC. So I'm going to do that now. And then we'll see that it says active. So my headset is now connected to the PC. And if you put the headset on, you may have a message in there asking to allow access to USB debugging or allow access to data. We want to hit apply or allow. And then in here, if you're still in the headset, you'll see that you've got an option now in your quick settings called Oculus Link. What you can do is you can select that inside the headset, and that will open up your Oculus environment. And then what we can do is we can actually test that our headset's connected properly using Unreal Engine 5 once that's loaded up. So my headset's now connected, and I'm in the Oculus environment. What we're going to do is we're going to open up the Epic Games Launcher. If you don't have the Epic Games Launcher, you can actually go to the website and you can search for Epic Games. You can sign in and then you can get Epic Games. That'll give you the desktop application. You can log in and download Unreal Engine from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our Epic Games Launcher. We're going to make sure we're in Unreal Engine and then Library. And in here, we're going to make sure that our engine version we have selected is Unreal Engine 5. So I've already got that installed. So it'll be here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to launch this. Don't have to change anything else just yet. All we're doing is we're making sure that our headset is connected to Unreal. And it's important that the headset is connected to Oculus before launching Unreal Engine. If you don't do that, it'll actually not appear and you won't be able to test it. So I have a project already existing called My Project. I'm just going to launch this and use this as the example now. And once this launches up, we can actually put the headset on and we'll be able to move around. So we can do that by going to the three dots here. So change play mode and play settings. And we want to select VR preview. Once you've done that, if you pop the headset back on, you should actually be able to see inside of your scene. And you should have the ability to move around and walk around. So I can do that with my headset. So now you can actually test your project and build it in the editor without having to worry about the building. So at this point, however, you won't actually be able to build your headset or your application to the headset for wireless play. That's what we're going to set up next. Now that we've tested it in the headset and we know that we can actually interact with stuff in our scene, we want to set this up so we can build it to the headset as a separate application. So we're going to close down Unreal because we don't need it open, and we're going to minimize Oculus. We want to keep that in the background. And in our Explorer that you use for your web browsing, we're going to search for Unreal Engine Android Studio. And in here, we get the option for docs.unrealengine.com. Setting up Android SDK and NDK. We're going to actually open this up. So this is probably the most crucial part of this entire process. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll down. I do recommend you have a good read through of this first, but what we're really interested in is our Android Studio 4. So this is the required version for using Unreal. And if we scroll down, it actually tells us the entire process of how to set it up and where to go. So it's really worth mentioning, like just having a read through this. And we can see here as well that we've got our different versions, and the key is our Android Studio. So it's the same as 4.27. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll up all the way to the top, and we're going to go to this link here. So Android Studio Archive. We're going to open this up, and we want to accept our terms and conditions. So we can do that by just scrolling to the bottom, agree to terms. And it's really important here that we download the correct version of Android Studio. So we do need Android Studio 4.0, which is a little bit way down here from May 28th, 2020. And we want to open this up. And this is a good point to say that Mac isn't supported for VR development. Sorry I didn't mention at the beginning, but it's currently not working with the Oculus. I believe you can do it with Steam. So we're going to launch or download our Windows IDE only for our 64-bit. We'll download that, which is 872 megs. And then once that's done, we'll come back and we'll set up for install. So now that we have Android Studio downloaded, we can actually just double click this. You might get a window that says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? We're going to hit yes. And then we're going to go through next, and we want to make sure that it's on our C drive. You don't have to have this on your C drive. I just find it makes life a lot easier down the line, and it can fix some issues that might appear. But put this somewhere that you can actually store it, and you should be good to go. We're going to do next, install, and we're going to wait for this to finish. It really doesn't take too long to complete, so we'll come right back once that's done. So now that's complete, we can actually do next, and then finish with Start Android Studio. And we want to make sure it's on version 4.0 still, so we've got the right version. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go down to Configure. We want to select Sdk Manager. And in here, we've got a couple of options. We want to do Show Package Details. And we get a whole bunch of information in this. We'll come back to this in a moment, but we want to go to SDK Tools and make sure Android SDK Command Line Tools latest is installed. So we're going to select that. And then in this case as well, we want to make sure that we have, so we're going to make sure Android SDK Platform Tools is also ticked. And we want to do Apply. For now, we're just going to leave this as it is. We're going to do OK. While recording this, I realized that I don't have Android or Google drivers installed for my headset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Configure, Sdk Manager. This can't hurt to do on your end as well. So SDK. And we're going to do Google USB driver. We're going to hit Apply. We're going to make sure we download this. Hit OK and finish. And what we can do is we can actually hit OK. And now if we open up an Unreal project, we should actually see our headset launch. So we're going to go to Library, My Project. So we're going to pop the headset on, make sure it says Allow USB debugging. We're going to hit Allow. And then back in Unreal, hopefully we should actually see our Android hardware. There it is, so it now pops up. So we go to platforms, you'll see that we actually have our Quest appearing now at the top, which is exactly what we want. If you had this before, then don't worry about it too much, but we needed this just so we could test our build. So what we're going to do is if we actually go down to Device Manager and we select our Quest from this, we can see that the operating system is Android 10, API level 29. this is what we want to select in our Oculus plug or our Android. So we're going to go back to our Android Studio, configure, Sdk Manager, and in here you see that at the minute Android API 32 is selected or installed. We're going to uninstall that, and we actually want to select Android 10, so API level 29. This just keeps it in line with Unreal, and it works pretty well for what we want. Just double checking that there's anything else in here. I don't believe so. So what we're going to do is we're going to just hit apply. And that should say the following components will be deleted, platform 32 revision 1. The following components will be installed instead, so Android 29 and SDK platform 29. Going to hit OK. Brilliant. So now that's done, we can hit finish, hit OK, and then we can minimize Android Studio. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure Unreal is closed, and we're going to update our Android Studio. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our C drive, program files. We want to then go to Epic Games, right here, UE5, engine, extras, Android. I do set up Android Studio. That will download. We can hit enter to continue, and then we do set up Android linker or update linker bat. So hit enter. So at this point, some of you might find that you can actually open up your project and then go into it and actually build to the Oculus Quest. So build an APK file. So I'll show you through this. However, I'm still getting an error, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. So in platforms, you can see that we still get the little triangle, even though we've already installed Android SDK and our NDK, and we know it's on there. So what do we need to do? So in this case, we're going to have to install Visual Studio because we want to download some net clients, specifically .NET Core 3.1 and 5. So we can do this. So we could do this two ways. We could download Visual Studio 2022, which I'm actually going to do. Ready to download. Let's just do community, just because it's a little bit easier to actually do stuff through this. So download Visual Studio. I'm going to hit save. We're going to open this up and hit yes. We're going to do continue. And we're going to go through and wait for this to install. So this is probably the most awkward part, especially when stuff doesn't work with Unreal. But chances are, if you're doing C++, you've probably already got this already set up. So with Visual Studio installed, mine restarted. So my screen looks like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to continue without code. And we want to go to get tools and features. So the issue right now is that we don't have .NET 5.0 or 3.1. So I actually have this installed, but there's a couple of issues with it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to select .NET Desktop Development. We're going to do Desktop Development with C++, because it doesn't hurt to have. And then if you're doing HoloLens, something like that, you could use the Universal Windows. I'll leave that one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down. We'll do Mobile Development with C++. And game development with C++. This is specifically for Unreal, so Unreal as well as Coco's 2D. So we'll select these, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to install or modify these so they add themselves into our project. So we'll hit continue. This might take a little while, but hopefully this gets us onto the right path, and then we should actually be able to load up Unreal once it's sorted and be able to build to our headset. So with that done, we're going to open up Unreal and see if we can actually build now. If not, we'll keep going. We'll get through this. Hopefully my errors and stuff like that can help you get yours up like off the ground. So just open up the project and see what it says. And I've got a feeling we might have to use the Android setup.bat again, just to double check something. So yeah, so it's still there. So what we're going to do is we're going to search for our main folder, which contains our C drive again, program files. We want Epic Games, UE5, engine, extras, Android, and then set up Android.bat. So we're going to have a look at this. So there it is. It says, warning, file could not be loaded. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this to the side. I'm going to find that folder location. So C drive, we want users, .NET, and then we want to go to .android. And the easiest way to fix this is to actually open up PowerShell. So PowerShell, and then in here we want to put new -item, and then android/repositories.cfg. So this will actually force us to create one for us. So we just hit enter, and you can see that's actually been created, and we can double check that by opening up the file. So program files, so C machine users Jonathan.android, and you see here we now have a repositories.cfg. I'll put a link in the description for this line, and then you just got to paste it in. So we're going to close that, and then we're going to run this again. So a lot of going back and forth, but hopefully we can get there. Program files, Epic Games, UE5, engine, extras, Android, setup android.bat. So there we go. So that time it actually worked. We're going to close this down. And now we should actually be able to load up our project. So we can test this one that's already open. We might have to restart it. So we're going to open up the Epic launcher, go to library, and then just to make sure, we'll start a new project. I think I've got 3 of them at this point. Doesn't hurt. You can keep using the same one, don't forget. So we're just going to wait for this to load up. And what we'll need to do is go into our project settings. So we're going to do, actually, never mind. Well, let's just use the My Project 2. There's nothing different with this. So we're going to open this up. And what we're really interested in is to make sure that triangle warning error isn't there next to our platforms. So as you can see, we can now see that our Android does not have the little triangle warning, which is absolutely awesome. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to Edit, Project Settings. We're going to go down to Android. We're going to make sure that our target SDK version is set to 28. Package game inside APK. I normally do disable verify OBB on first start. If yours is red, you might have to hit apply or configure for the Android platform. Should turn green. We keep scrolling through. Support ARM64 and remove Oculus signature from distribution APK. So that should be it for this. What we can do now is we can close this, go to platforms. You can see because my Quest is actually connected to the laptop and we've allowed access to it, we can see that our Quest is appearing. But we're just going to go straight down, go to Android, and we're going to package project. So this might take a little while to complete for your first build, but every iteration after that should be much faster. So we do select folder, and we're going to sit and wait for this to actually package our project, and we'll come back once it's done. Excellent. So now that's completed. What we can do is, because I wasn't too sure where we saved it to, if you're not too sure, you can actually go to File, or you can go to Edit, Project Settings, and then you can actually go to Packaging. If you scroll right down, it'll actually show you where you've saved it to. So a little bit of a lazy cheat copy. It's just in my project folder, but I can paste this in, and we can access it from here. You see here we've got an Android ASTC file. And in here, we've got our APK, which is our entire project built for the Quest. So what you want to do is you want to pop the headset on for the Quest. You want to make sure Android or USB debugging and all that is allowed and enabled. And then what you should be able to do is double click the install my project or whatever your project name is, arm64.bat. I'll say perform streamed install or performing streamed install. Once this is done, it might take a little bit based on the size of your project, but it should then apply to the headset. So now we're in the headset. What we can do is we can actually go to our apps because we're using development mode. And in the top right, you've got unknown sources. So yours is probably on all. We can select all and then scroll down to unknown sources. And then here we can see our project, which will be labeled at the top. So we're going to hit my project. And what should happen is it actually loads up. and we can teleport around. We can pick stuff up. We can pick up our guns, shoot them, and we do everything we need to. So that is the long way around of how to build your application to the headset. It did take a while, but the idea was to cover as many routes and solutions as possible that might come up. So hopefully this helps you guys out. I look a bit rough. It's been a little while trying to get this video done. But thank you for sticking through it. I hope this really helped. And a big shout out to my Patreons who have made this possible for me to put in the time to do this. So if you want to help support the channel, bring a little bit more to it, please head over to the Discord where you can join the community and help out loads of questions and answers and that kind of stuff there, as well as the Patreon itself, where even the £1 one helps quite a bit. So if you want to help, feel free to. And until next time, stay safe, and I will see you then. Bye.